Today we'll be continuing with the poem From Exile by R. Parthasarathy. Now, I already gave an introduction to the poem, and in my last lecture, I already told you about the background of R. Parthasarathy. Now, the title of the poem itself indicates that exile, what's the meaning of exile? And a kind of an alienation that the poet feels here, and this is being explicitly and beautifully expressed in this poem. Now, Parthasarathy here also explains that we've already discussed in last class. He was mentioning about the most revered musician, Dr. Mr. Ravi Shankar, and he says that he copied the English way of life to the extent of idealizing the English and making them his object of worship. This we discussed and we stopped here. Now we'll continue. Now the poet too, even R. Parthasarathy, did the same in the past, and he now realizes the futility of the entire process. He also had been through the entire thing, undergoing a deep, intense feeling that he was an exile in an alien country, and this made him comprehend the uselessness of the complete endeavor, the whole endeavor. Existence of each soul at a particular place or a country is like a tree. The roots are profound and it cannot be uprooted. As a old, stagnant, fixed tree cannot be uprooted, it cannot be replaced at the other place, it cannot be placed somewhere else. In the same way, uprooting of an individual with its own culture, background, beliefs, systems, upbringing cannot be placed or planted somewhere else. So here we can say that Parthasarathy also compares one's language to a tree. He's comparing a language also to a tree when he says that what he's saying here, you have these lines: the bark disappears with the snow. Yeah, you learn roots are deep, that language is a tree, loses color under another sky. So these lines are extremely symbolic. What is a language? What language is made up of? Language is made up of one's culture, one's beliefs, one's attitude, one's adaptation, and of course, language of any country reflects its own traditions and culture in the most important way. And here, it's not a language, not only a source of a medium of communication, but also it exhibits the beliefs and the ideology of that particular country. So here he's saying here that language also is like a tree. So and it too loses color over time under another sky, or it cannot adapt to the circumstances there. So it languished and lost its vitality due to lack of use and stagnation. This is clear. When a language, of course, language also loses its vitality, language also loses its color. Once it is not being used and it is forgotten by the particular community or a country. So, as the snow on the alien country settles on the bark, it acts as a second layer, coating it a kind of an artificial preservation. So, in the same way, due to lack of utility and the hostility due to prudence, the branches that once were adamant on flourishing, they stagnate. So, the hostility or cold nature renders the tree hoarse. Now, what a beautiful example is given. The bark disappears with the snow and branches become hoarse. However, the most reassuring thing about the past is that happened. Dressed in tweed, grease, flannel in suburban pockets. So the only reassurance here, the reassuring thing about the past was that it happened. This is what the poet says, and that experience was a great teacher and left him to realize that his roots lay in his homeland. Of course, experience is a great teacher. Everybody knows this, and it makes you realize that the roots of a person or an individual or a soul lies in his own country, in his own native place, in his own homeland. He dresses in his foreign clothes and realizes that his heart was very much at home. They were called immigrants or coloreds. So, of course, you know who are immigrants? They're coming from one country to the other, and they're also called coloreds. They were addressed with a common noun and were judged on the basis of their color. Indians find foreign countries to be a kind of embellishment, but once they reach there, they understand that the city was just another city and not a dwell. So again, this is a problem with the Indians. He says they realize that another country is kind of an embellishment, a beautiful attraction it is for them, but it is not the case. Just like gold could not reflect its own worth, the immigrants could not underline their significance. See the beautiful comparison he is making. England also had polluted lands filled with smoke and litter. There were unbathed English children in a squalid setup. However, people were only repulsed with the immigrants. So he says that every country has its own darker side and its brighter side. Where you want to look, that depends upon you. An old man, of course, he says, in Trafalgar Square, is a place in London, and an important fashionable locality in London, once said that it was no use trying to change the colored, they will be what they are. So, colored here refers to the immigrants, and they will be what they are. There is no sense changing. So, lots of controversy we can find here, and lots of strange things in the poem. And let's see how Parthasarathy takes each and every aspect of understanding that going or living or being an immigrant from our native place to another one is just a kind of an exile. In exile, I don't think that you can find it. It's a encouraging and a positive word. It's of course something which is negative. It appears to be a kind of a punishment to someone who is going to another place and getting adjusted himself or herself according to the conditions of that place. We'll continue this poem in the next class. Thank you.